This is KGW News at noon.
Thanks for joining us today for the news at noon. I'm Christine Pitawanich. Police are looking for the person who attacked a 73-year-old Portland man while he was fishing. It happened on the East Bank Esplanade Tuesday. KGW's Alma McCarty talked to the man's daughter, who says her father wonders if the attack was racially motivated.
He likes fishing. He go to Gulami River by downtown on a broad walk.
As weather warms, excitement grows for fishermen like Sin Min Liang.
That's his usual spot. He just want to check out if the fish coming out yet in spring. So yesterday in the morning, he just went out by himself with some fishing net, whatnot.
But around 9:30, his daughter, Jia, says the 73-year-old was blindsided, attacked by a stranger.
This white guy, about 5'7", 5'8" figure with a blue beanie, just come up to him without saying a word. Just pick up a thick, fat wood stick by the bank and start pounding on him.
She says he held up his arms to protect his head, but the attacker kept hitting him, completely breaking his left arm.
You see his eyes. When I first saw him, it's terrifying. Blood is all over his face, and then he's swollen, like a golf ball size, swollen over his eye.
Liang doesn't speak English, and his daughter said he didn't think he could call 911 on his own. So instead, he managed to get on the Max line, taking it back towards his apartment downtown, where he got help, calling for an ambulance.
He doesn't know why, because the man just came up without saying a word, so started an attack.
At this point, officers say the case is not being investigated as a bias crime, although a spokesperson with PPB says that could change as the investigation unfolds.
So my dad does wonder if there's racial, racism involved in this attack. He can't help but wonder.
The family is still processing what happened and warning others.
All the Asian community, especially the ones with senior parents with them in town, just be careful. Don't go to places that's nobody around and alone, because right now Portland doesn't feel really safe.
Alma McCarty, KGW News.
Hope they find whoever's responsible. Okay, now to some big weather news to talk about across the country. Take a look at this. That is the scene in Denver today. People there are under a winter storm warning as parts of Colorado have received more than 30 inches of snow since yesterday. More than 800 flights out of Denver International Airport have already been canceled because of the weather. The snow is supposed to be tapering off Friday with warmer temperatures into the weekend. Now to Kansas, where people are cleaning up after a huge hailstorm last night. What's been described as baseball-sized hail delivered some major damage to homes and cars last night. It all brought traffic to a standstill along I-70 near Kansas City. The area was also under a tornado watch through 1 o'clock this morning. Rod, have you ever seen baseball-sized hail? That's crazy.
I've been in golf-sized hail, and that's crazy. It really is. I mean, it's like these big snowballs just falling out of the sky, or ice balls would be a better description. You saw the busted out windshield there, tons of property damage accompany, those storms and the hail gets that large. The setup, look at these are current temperatures across the country, and look at this divide with the front moving across the nation's midsection. Denver 33 under the winter storm warning. Parts of the suburbs of Denver, especially when you get out to the western suburbs and out toward Boulder, which of course is its own city, looking for 24 inches of snow from this particular storm that's going right now. And then ahead of it, the push of warm air, which is classic, and you get the tornado threat and the hail threat. St. Louis right now is 78 degrees. The state of Kansas, by the way, had 3 tornadoes reported from the National Weather Service late yesterday into early this morning. Here's a look at what's going on right now. The white is the snow in Colorado, and then you see these storms. It's been stormy in Chicago this morning. Now that storm line is lifted north of Chicago, and you've got another storm line that's headed toward Cleveland. We, of course, are high and dry. Here's the upper level high pressure system that will basically dominate our weather in the coming days, bringing mainly clear skies across all of Oregon and Washington. Cannon Beach live for you, gorgeous. Here's the Mount Hood, Oregon Resort up in Welch's. This had snow on it, still a little bit, even I think yesterday. Now that's finally all melted off, and there's downtown Portland. Our temperature at noon is at 50. I think we at least get up into the 60s this afternoon, and then warmer weather tomorrow and into the weekend. That's ahead of my 7-day.
Inching up. Okay, thank you, Rod. To an update now on a KGW investigation that looked into a Vancouver woman's awful living conditions. She was renting a place with a long list of problems. We're talking no running water and no working toilet. Casey Jewell told our investigative team she tried to get her landlord at the hidden RV and mobile home park to make the needed repairs. But because she was still catching up on back rent payments, a loophole in Washington's law allowed the landlord to ignore her requests. Turns out our coverage of her story, along with public outcry, prompted management to find her a new home just last week.
And when you got contact with them, that's when they're like, oh, we better do something. Thank you. Thank you for your prayers.
As you'd expect, her new place has all the basic necessities, including heat, running water, a working toilet. Meanwhile, a bill in Olympia that would have closed the legal loophole that we mentioned earlier never got a hearing during the legislative session that just ended in Washington. Back to Oregon, a new bill on Governor Tina Kotek's desk should close some loopholes in Oregon's paid leave program. Senate Bill 1515 is designed to fix loopholes, allowing employees to use both the decades-old Oregon Family Leave Act, which provides 12 unpaid weeks off, and the new Paid Leave Oregon, allowing employees to take 12 paid weeks off, with the state paying. Since paid leave was implemented last fall, some people have stacked those two leave periods together, taking close to 6 months total off. That led to scheduling issues for employers who must abide by Oregon laws regarding worker scheduling. One labor and employment lawyer says employers should be looking at their leave policies and updating them to match the new law before the end of the year.
That's the basic takeaway. The second one, and it's a harder one to consider, but this is a very different legal regime than what we've all been accustomed to for the last many years. And frankly, there are lots of unanswered questions about how this new law is going to work in practice.
If the governor signs the newest bill, it will take effect January 1st. But that bill does not address issues around getting paid. A lot of people have told us they've had trouble with their paid leave claims. We've done several stories on it. You can find them right now on KGW.com and also on our KGW YouTube channel.